Hi, everybody, and welcome for the week of November 16th for another podcast here on GoUTSA.com featuring the coach of the women's basketball team for UTSA. Always a pleasure to have him, Luby Lichonczak, and the Roadrunners started the season off this past Saturday on a not-so-great note, going up against a top 20 team, the Texas Longhorns up in Austin. Texas won by a score of 90-53, but Luby, one positive element. She's number 3, Alexis Dukes, and I could see when you drafted her. 5'6", 6 3-pointers. An amazing game for that young lady.
Well, Stu, we don't have a draft because if we did, I might have taken Imani in the first round. But no, Dukes, we were fortunate enough to recruit out of Harker Heights. Outstanding speed and quickness. She can put it up from the outside, as people saw in that game. A competitor, she loves to compete. The bigger the stage, the better she plays.
Seems like every time the Roadrunners shot a 3, Longhorns came back with a 3. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that first quarter, in an estimated guess, I saw at one stretch a combined 11 3-pointers. That was incredible.
They shot it very well. That was something I'm sure that they worked on over in the offseason. That was something they needed to improve on to complement their inside game. So they're going to be a tough out for a lot of people this year with that, because their inside's a handful, and then if you've got to get out there and defend the 3, that just will give them more space to be effective.
Yeah, Brooke McCarty had an outstanding game. She scored 22 points, had a lot of threes, and also you talk about the inside game. Kelsey Lang, who's 6'5", Imani Boyette, who's 6'7", the daughter of one-time Olympian Pam McGee. I mean, they were both great. They got into position, and it's tough to guard against those two, and UTSA gave it every effort, but their experience and size proved to be quite a bit.
Well, you can't coach size. I thought we did a decent job of going in, either doubling or swarming, but then to get back out, it's difficult, and that's when the threes were hit. And so you got to pick your poison. We picked the wrong one.
Unfortunately, besides Dukes, the rest of the team just couldn't shoot the ball well overall. The Roadrunners shot 27%, something I know you won't accept at any given time, but something you try to learn from after this past Saturday.
Well, no, you can't win a whole lot of games shooting that percentage. We're going to have to get better. That's something we've been focusing in on and working on all year, so we'll continue to do that. I think we have the ability to shoot better, and we can't wait till the next one and prove it.
We talked about Dempsey Thornton a couple of times. We know she's still making the adjustment, getting back to basketball on a regular basis. But how did you evaluate her going up against tough components like Boyette and Lang?
Well, I don't think she'll face anyone bigger or better than those two the rest of the season. So I think it was a positive experience for her. She didn't back down. She did well. She competed, and that's what you want from someone in her position who doesn't have the experience. So we're very pleased with what she did. I was proud of her efforts.
Well, Tisha Smith, even though when she got in, struggled a little bit, but I thought at the end of the game she had a strong finish, had a three-point play, was able to get a couple of buckets in the paint, and hopefully this year will be even better for her compared in the past.
That's our hope. That was her first outing this year, and took a little while to get used to it, but I think she can. She's physically gifted. She's able to go up and dominate the boards, and that's what we need from her.
What about the two other young ladies who came over, Anastasieska and Kidroska?
I thought Sarah did very well. We do a plus-minus system with our players, and she showed very well in that. She was aggressive. She got down on the floor. I still thought both of them were a little gun-shy. We need them to be both more aggressive offensively.
You think maybe because they were going up top 20 team, you maybe felt they were a little bit apprehensive, a little intimidated maybe from the start?
Well, this was their first collegiate game. The exhibitions, they're fun, but they don't go in the record books. So this was their first game. We got the jitters out. I'm looking forward to great things out of both of them.
And of course, I'm talking about the whole team. Now you have a week until you play Abilene Christian this coming Saturday. So a whole week to try to get things ironed out. And what did you have a chance to say to your team after the game this past Saturday? And what are you looking forward to them from practice this week?
Well, you learn from a defeat like this and you go forward. You can't dwell on it. The most important play in basketball is the next play. The most important game in basketball is the next game.
Well, I really thought that even despite the lopsided score, of course, Texas had 6 players in double figures, but I really felt that the Roadrunners still hung tough. They still tried to do what they can to compete and be as strong as they can down the stretch. And did you notice that as well, especially during the fourth quarter?
We did compete well the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, there are 4, so you got to do that each and every quarter. I thought we came out. The second quarter did well. The third quarter, we didn't come out of halftime as well as we needed to, and that kind of killed us. We turned the ball over too much in that quarter, and you can't do that against a top 20 team. So if we handle the ball, we take care of the ball, then I feel very good about our chances.
We discussed about the new rules with the 4 quarters, and I think you and I did mention about less fouls, and I saw less fouls. The game seemed to go very smoothly as each quarter went on, and not too many foul shots for each team, although Texas had twice as many as the Roadrunners at one point, but at least it's nice that the process picked up.
Well, you are going to shoot fewer free throws. The old rule, you would in a 1-on-1 on 8.5. Now you're not shooting until 5.25, so that's 2 extra fouls that you get to hit them before they get to shoot. So we're going to have to take advantage of that.
What do you expect out of Abilene Christian, your next opponent this coming Saturday, Luby?
Well, they're an excellent three-point shooting team. They love to fill in behind and get their players to come in and shoot the three, so we've got to be aware of that and take that away.
It's almost the same kind of blueprint you had to deal with Texas, although Abilene Christian, with all due respect to them, not the same strong caliber as Texas, but when you let people free and they get hot, look out.
Exactly. You allow a team to get in a comfort zone and get going, then it's tough to put out those fires. So we got to get to them early, we got to stop them early, and hopefully hit some shots for us down at the offensive end.
Like you said, not to dwell on anything with Texas, but Brooke McCarty, who scored the 22 points, seemed to get in her comfort zone, seemed like she had all the room in the world. Do you felt maybe that the defense might have been too lenient against her?
We missed some defensive assignments there and allowed her to get the 3 off, which, who knows what would have happened if we were where we were supposed to be. So, but if you allow a player of that caliber to feel comfortable, then it's too late. Then they're going to hit shots with people on them. So you can't allow that. You can't allow it early, obviously, and you can't allow it to a team that's playing at home.
What about the returnees like Mathilde and Carly? What did you think about their performance this past Saturday?
Well, I wasn't too pleased with anyone's performance. So, Duke's shot well offensively, but broke down defensively. So, as a group, I felt we all need to pick up. So, everyone had moments, but not consistent enough.
Well, the rebounding, too, I know has to pick up, but like we did discuss before about Texas, a great, strong team in the paint. They out-rebounded the Roadrunners by the margin of 57-34. But Alana's capable of picking it up, and Duke's, we've seen her rebound very well. And it only goes to show sometimes size doesn't always matter if you have the athleticism and being in the right spot, and those two proved it.
Well, you're right, but if you do your job, if you block out, we don't get hurt on the boards that bad, and we just didn't get the job done.
Any specific players you know offhand about Abilene Christian that you might have reviewed already? I realize it's early in the week. Anybody that you're concerned about, even though you mentioned about their three-point shooting?
Well, their starters are experienced. They've played together for quite a while. I think they're mostly senior, junior lineup. And they're all capable of hurting you. Some of the inside players got some outstanding moves. Their outside kids can knock down a three. So we've got to be ready for all that.
Luby, always a pleasure, and Good luck against Abilene Christian. I know that the young ladies will take this past Saturday as a learning experience like any game, no matter what. And go get them. Have a good practice this week, and I look forward to speak with you later on this week.
All right. Thanks, Stu.
My pleasure. Thank you. And that's Luby Lichonczak, the head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners women's basketball team. My name is Stu Paul. I'm the play-by-play man for the women's basketball team. And this is the podcast for the week of November 16th. And tune in this Saturday when the Roadrunners take on Abilene Christian in Abilene, Texas at 2 p.m. Central Time, tip-off time. You can hear it right here on GoUTSA.com. Thanks again for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, and we will talk basketball again soon.